Apologies. Apparently my microphone has been muting, and that's quality. That is amazing. So what's happened is my microphone has clicked into the mute section and decided to completely mute itself for the first part of qualifying. So hello everyone and welcome to the Virtual Racing Championship. It's the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. I have been flicking through and you will be seeing what's been going on here this evening. I have run through already the championships and everything while my mic has magically been muted. Thanks to Leclerc for mentioning otherwise I had a muted Grand Prix race here. Not ideal. I'm going to start the recording as well, ready for the highlights that should be on social media. We'll quickly run you through the championships. Eagle Killer is leading at the moment, 219 points from the H Eagle in second on 90. Freak is on 86 in third. Ollie D is on 83 in fourth. Tim Palms at 79 gives him fifth. Damn Daniel is in sixth. Epic Gamer seventh. Pit Matt is in eighth. Super Guy NL ninth. 10th is Cherry 2 Pie. This is the championship, not the current qualifying standings. You then have Marquise, who is on Marquise on 30, Francis on 24, Express on 20, Casper on 15, Cliffy is on 12, Ollie on 10, Floris on 4, Mark on 2, Onyx on 1, and then the remaining drivers are on 0 points, some of which are reserved, such as Best Bob himself. We'll quickly go through the complete grid for VRC. Which has been updated and changed due to the fact we had a few dropouts, and you can see here we've got 18 guys competing this evening, so we've got ourselves a much more complete grid. Marquise is on a lap. We'll ride on board with him as he head through some of these iconic corners, obviously going through Pool a minute ago, really flat out, a great little section of corners, obviously down into Radion and Eau Rouge as well. Running through the grid then. In the Mercedes, we've got Super Guy NL, who's on his own. We are looking for a replacement for him. We will get promotion because Big Parenta has pulled out. Pit Matt and Leclerc are in the Ferrari. Deagle Killer and Tim Palm are in Red Bull. Dom / Freak and Onyx are in Force India. Francis Marquise are in Williams. Cliffy and Expert are in the Renault. Casper, Cherry 2 Pie and Toro Rosso. Dan Daniel, Epic Gamer are in Haas. Floris and Mark are in the McLaren. Sauber is the H Eagle Apex, with reserves being Ollie D, Best Bob and TTG Ollie. Fastest lap is by Floris, and Marquise has put himself into P2, 1 minute 41 dead, with just under 2 minutes to go. He's called it a day. Casper's come out incredibly late. He's going to be the last man across the line, or maybe Francis will be, almost being collected there by his teammate. That could have been dangerous. Let's see who the next man to come across the line is. TTG Mark has come across. Epic Game has gone to the top of the timing sheets now. He's set the fastest lap. I'd imagine that's going to be him done for the day. We'll go on board with Deagle Killer because he is the man who is leading this championship by a hefty margin, well over 100 points. Cliffy retires down in last. Not ideal from Cliffy. He's not felt confident. 22 lap race we believe it's going to be. Currently the slowest in the men to set a time is Best Bob. Pitman 11th is in a pretty good position for his sake. He'll be pretty happy with that if he can stay there. But a good time from Epic Gamer puts him on the top step. We can see now with Deagle Killer, he's heading onto a lap, and this could be an important lap for him in this championship. He can wrap it up very soon if he can keep this consistency, considering his closest rivals are well over 100 points behind him. He's feeling confident and he's looking confident as well. He's almost running to the back there. Tim Palm's gone past, getting some slipstream. We'll see what Tim Palm does quickly as he comes across the line. He's losing the rear end slightly. It looks like a Force India was ahead of him, but I'm not sure who. Tim Palm moves up into P6. Will now jump on board with Deagle Killer. 45 seconds to go. Comes into turn 1 of La Source. Let's see what sort of line he takes. He doesn't hit the apex. Actually want to get maximum exit as you head up the hill section. Turn 2 is here. This little right-hander. 3, 4 and 5. The iconic Radion and Eau Rouge section. Heading uphill. Clipping the left-hand curve. Then just opening up nicely. Maximising your exit. You don't want to lose the rear end. You want to get as much torque through here. Opening that DRS with ERS as well available to you. Tim Palm isn't giving his teammate a slipstream. I think he's just ahead of him. Maybe going for another lap. But into this lovely section of corners into Lecom. 7, 8 and 9 opens it up. Maximise your exit here. You don't want to get on the gravel because it can hinder you and lose you a lot of time. He just clips the curbing there, but a good time so far from Deagle Killer. He looks very comfortable as you're heading down into No Name, also known as turn 11, heading into Pouon. Probably the most difficult section of corners you're going to come across. Pouon, flat out left-hander. If you lose that rear end or get in curving, you could find yourself in a barrier, and we could see that from some of the drivers. Let's see how Deagle does it. beautifully does it. Opens up that corner nicely, maximising your effort. Going up into 8th gear, no, he stays in 7th, full rev, shifting down into 4th, just a minor little rev up, and then lifts off up into 5 now, as you're going to open up these lovely winding sets of corners of Campus down into down into 15 and 16. Now Tim Palm's giving his team out a bit of a tow. Teamwork in action here from the German and the Dutchman. When will Tim Palm move over? As they're going to come through Blanchimont, let's see what's going to happen into the bus stop chicane of turns 19 and 20. It's a long old lap. Just under. Oh, look how close he is there. He has maximised that slipstream. There'll be some questions asked, but Tim Palm has done his teammate a huge favour. Deagle Killer coming through the final corner now. Where is he going to go? Will he go onto pole? He does so. He gains 2 temps on Epic Gamer thanks to that slipstream. That's how crucial it was. So that just shows that Deagle Killer really did need the help of his teammate to get onto pole position. It was a good lap, but still he's got his pole position through teamwork, and Deagle is the top man here this afternoon so far. Can anyone catch him? It doesn't look like it. The only man that can do is Casper, who's going to be coming across the line. You've got Francis as well. We'll go on board with Francis. He'll be the first one as he comes into the bus stop chicane. Let's see where Casper can go. Clips that apex nicely, opens it up, needs to improve. He's in P7 at the moment. He's pretty close to the couple of guys ahead of him, so he could get himself into the top 3 if he improves drastically. He comes across the line, only P4 for him, but still very, very tight. Casper's going to be the last man, but he ditches it and comes into the pits there. So it is Deagle Killer, the championship leader, on 219 points. He's well on his way to increase that championship lead by an extra 25 points if things go his way, and that is a quality performance from him. He'll be starting on the top step of the grid here this afternoon, and that's an impressive performance from the Red Bull team to do what they did. Great teamwork from them two. Working together has got them that top spot in qualifying. It's a 1-7 for them as qualifying has now come to a close, and we'll run you through the grid very, very shortly. Apologies for the incidents earlier where the microphone wasn't working. It should now be completely okay. We'll just double check. I think we're all good there. So Casper taking P12 in the chat. Guys, please let us know in the chat anything. If you're driving, give us your thoughts. If you're watching along live, then also let us know what you think of the racing so far, and where you reckon you can be. Was there invalidated laps? I'm expecting a few guys probably did. It is a long old lap, so if you make a mistake, you've got a long. We'll now have a look at the qualifying classifications. It is the Dutchman of the Deagle Killer who is split between him and his countryman of Floris with Epic Gamer in 2nd, Floris in 3rd, 4th is Francis for Scotland, doing a good job there. 5th is Marquis, 5th is Marquis, 6th is Leclerc, 7th is Tim Palm, 8th is Cherry 2 Pie and the Toro Rosso, 9th is the H Eagle, Mark is in 10th, Pitmat 11th, Casper 12th, Apex 13th, Ollie in 14th, 15th is Exprit, Best Bob is in 16th, Onyx 1 minute 45.2 is in 17th, and then 18th is the only man not to set a lap time. That is Cliffy for the ILR race, the Inside Line Racing League team, the esports team that they have set up. It looks like dry conditions ahead of us. We've got a long formation lap, so while we have that formation lap, we will quickly take a water break, because you've got to do that. You've got to make sure you're hydrated, kids. Get yourself hydrated before the Grand Prix. If you're unaware, I am your commentator for this evening, Mr. Oliver Glazebrook, and I will be commentating throughout this season, and the remainder. My commentary partner was unable to attend this evening, so apologies for that. Stream quality, though, should be perfectly good. We had a few blips the other week, but it should be back to normal. For some reason, I kept getting kicked from the sessions. At the start of this one, in fact, my game froze, and that might have been the reason why my mic was bugging out, because the game froze and maybe played a little bit of a part. So yeah, guys, let us in the chat, let us know if anything's going on, what you're thinking. We've got a long old wait here as the formation lap is about to get underway. Let's have a look, see what tyres everyone has gone on to. So the tyre choice there is Deagle Killer down to Mark, obviously on the super soft tyres. You've got Pitmat, you have Casper, you have Best Bob, Yep, Onyx, and you have Ollie all starting on the mediums. Then you have a single super soft runner in Expert who's outside the top 10. You've got Apex as well, along with Cliffy, starting on the yellow striped soft compound tyres. So get your predictions down below. Who is going to win this Grand Prix? Championship leader Deagle Killer could make it 3 from 3 in 2019 after a simply stunning qualifying performance. He is absolutely on fire, and he is the man to catch and the man to beat as things currently stand in the Virtual Racing Championship. So, how are we gonna? How are we feeling? We've got to. It's a shame, really. We can't have interviews with the drivers before the race. It'd be ideal, but obviously they want to get themselves prepared ahead of a pretty intense Grand Prix. You know, things can go wrong. They want to make sure they're in the correct mindset. 18 drivers here. It's going to be very, very tight. Right third person with Deal Killer, looking at how he prepares for these Grand Prix. So apologies for that, just had to quickly sort something out, make sure that the stream is completely working. We do not want any hiccups. There we go, perfection. There we are, lovely. So, Deagle Killer is on pole position. Epic Gamer is a good contender though to beat him and to get involved there. He loves a battle. Flores as well. He's very quick round tracks like this. He loves the competitive nature of the racing. He loves the way the guys are going to compete, and that he loves to get involved in their battles. A very quick driver himself. Obviously racing on cockpit cam as well. We'll probably see some of his highlights later on. Look how close the top three are as they're all making their way in. Francis has pulled out a 12-second gap and is bunching up the pack nicely. The front three are all very, very keen to get things going. They want to start racing, whereas everyone else might well be finding themselves in a bit of a sticky situation, being held up by Francis as things stand. Where's this racing going to lie? You can see a few of the guys are coming into the pit. Are coming to the screen there as they've all been sent back to the grid. I believe that was Mint Leclerc who was the first man to be sent back. So let's see where Francis is. Look at the Francis train starting to form as they're coming in. It's got everyone involved in there, so they're all starting to pack their way in. We've got a few more moments until it's full lights out. Who's the last cars? You've got Cliffy, who's feeding his way through there. You've got Onyx as well. Cliffy got in ahead of Onyx. So once Onyx joins that back of that grid, we'll keep chopping and changing and wait for the green lights, because then we should get the ideal camera angle ahead of us here. So let's see if it's going to change the camera angle. Yellow flags, there we are. So it's Deagle Killer on the left, and on your right is Epic Gamer. It's Haas versus Red Bull. It's 5 red lights, and we are underway here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's a good start there from the Red Bull of Deagle Killer. You can see Epic Gamer's running at him, and in the background there's some close battling between the guys. Up the inside goes a Williams. He's going to miss out, sadly for him though. On board with Leclerc, who got a little bit of a barge there. Look at Flores dropping down. Francis is with a great little dive bomb at the start, getting up into P3. Epic Gamer's got a great run. In fact, you can say he has an epic run on Deagle Killer, heading up in Eau Rouge. They're going to go side by side here. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Further behind, you can see the guys chopping and changing places. The Haas has had a fantastic run. Yellow flags as the H-Eagle and Olive come together. Could be 3 abreast of Williams up the inside of the Red Bull. 4 cars very, very close. The Haas has got the place done, but further behind, can the Williams get it done? Contact between Deagle Killer and Francis, and he's got the place done there. And Deagle is under a little bit of pressure here from guys further behind him, including Flores and Leclerc. Leclerc, a good little start there to get himself up into P4. A great start there. Deagle Killer has dropped 2 places, and he has got Leclerc all over his rear end. I don't think he has any damage to his front wing, but a great start. Marquis now is hunting down Tim Palm. Both Red Bulls having a pretty diabolical start by their standards. Marquis though going to try and hunt him down further down the grid. Just have a look, see if anything has happened. Obviously, you mentioned the H-Eagle and Ollie came together with his to and fro with the front battle. Pit Matt has dropped down a few positions, so there must have been a big incident further down. Looking at the biggest losers and winners in that start. Epic Gamer and obviously Francis. Look, yeah, Cliffy is gaining on Pit Matt. Pit Matt must have an issue, so Cliffy's got past him there. Unless Cliffy picked up an issue as well. Cliffy seems to be struggling the same as Pit Matt, so that's a big shame for them too. Things calming down a little bit now. Mark and Flores are chopping and changing. Flores had a very dismal start. He's down to P7. I wonder if he has any damage. Look at the Red Bull and the McLaren going side by side. Who's going to come out on top there? The Renault almost swiping into the side. Good little squabble between these two. Wheel barging galore. Fastest lap from Epic Gamer. As things currently stand, they're all heading into the first corner now. The hairpin nicely. Who's going to get that? And it's Mark ahead of Expert as things stands, but they're all going to keep chopping and changing places, I dare say, throughout this Grand Prix. Let's see. Leclerc heading up on Deagle Killer. Both of them are losing the rear end. Leclerc almost completely crashing. It looks like the debris there must be where Ollie and the H-Eagle are both crashed out heading into Eau Rouge. You almost saw Leclerc completely lose it, and that's a chance of a podium. But the Deagle Killer as well got a big corner cut and a big snap of oversteer. You can see Tim Palm is gaining, and Marquis has dropped back quite a drastic amount there. Well, yeah. Yeah, he's dropped back quite a lot. You know, the thing that a few people have mentioned, is it Marquis or Marquesses? Now, somebody told me it was Marquesses, and I kept calling it that, but now I've been told it's Marquis. So somebody told me it was one thing, so I went by their logic, and I went by what they said, and then I've now realised it's Marquis, and he's now been overtaken by Floris Verger and up into P6. So Marquis is struggling a little bit on that Williams, and then tyres, them soft compound tyres probably aren't the most comfortable. Expert is up into P9, gaining 6 places off the start. A great little start from him. We'll keep an eye on Leclerc, who is hunting down Diegelkiller. Francis is kind of being pulled away from by Epic Gamer, which is great for him as he looks to extend his lead in this Grand Prix. Diegelkiller's poor start though could well be personified here, as you can see that Ferrari hunting him down, and I do not think that Red Bull's going to give up lightly. France is defending nicely. We've got a three-way scrap going on between these guys. We'll ride on with the Williams, as he's probably going to have the best view. You can see all the guys behind him. Francis is really struggling, and he could have himself a long old train, but Floris has got 1.6 second gap at the moment. Epic Gamer goes fast, he's got a long old lap ahead of him if he wants to pull away from Francis, but Francis could be under some serious threat from the guys behind him. I reckon we'll ride on board with Leclerc, because he looks to be the one who's getting the best runs at the moment as they head up through Radion and Eau Rouge. Let's see who's going to get the good run. I think Diegelkiller is getting closer and closer to Francis. DRS will be available to him now, as you can see that DRS there as it cuts to the camera. Here comes Diegelkiller. Let's see who's going to get the move done, who's going to hold on to it. Francis, a very aggressive defender. We're going to try and get the best camera angle. For some reason it's not giving us third person yellow. It's a 3-second time penalty for Epic Gamer. They keep going side by side, and Francis has to succeed that place, and Leclerc could take advantage of the opportunity here. He's going to go actually up the inside of potentially the Red Bull. There's Tim Palm as well. Poor Francis has dropped a few places, and that's someone in a wall, and that's Leclerc. Leclerc's ended up in a wall. There was contact, I believe, between Francis and Leclerc, and Francis, I think, has punted poor Leclerc, or is it Tim Palm? Somebody's hit him into the wall. Francis got damaged. Deagle was up into P2, but Paul Leclerc has ended up in a wall there, and that's relatively pretty much his race over. He'll be absolutely furious. We'll hear from him maybe in the chat shortly about what happened. Is he still going? He is. I'd imagine he's going to come into the pits. Heartbreak for Leclerc. He had a very good start to this Grand Prix and probably deserves to be on the podium, but contact, I wasn't exactly too sure. We didn't get a clear viewing of who it was. I will quickly go on the stream and see if I can see who made that contact with him. It's a big shame, that, actually. So riding on board now, I'm just getting a quick replay cam. I'll ride on board. Tim Palm. I think it's Tim Palm. Let me have one final look. You can see the Williams and Red Bull battling here. So into this set of corners, is it Francis or Tim Palm? It looks like Tim Palm. I think that might have been Tim Palm's fault, and that could well find its way into the stewards. Tim Palm, it looks like he's pushed him round the corner, and Francis was on his outside, so Francis, I don't think, was anywhere near that incident, as Diegelkiller is pulling away from Francis, but I think Tim Palm could be getting his opportunity to overtake Francis here as they're heading down into the Kemmel Straight. It's a good overtaking opportunity. DRS of Francis looks to be irrelevant at this stage as they're going to head down up the inside. Later on the break, there's a little bit of contact between the two of them there as Francis has moved back onto the screen, so that may have just been the little lag bubble, and that might be why the Red Bull was a little bit twitchy and didn't want to do anything too drastic going into Les Combes. And that was a scary moment, but Francis holds on to the place at the moment. Floris has now been involved into this battle as well. He's just a few tenths behind, so we've got a good little scrap here going on for the second place as Epic Gamer leads from Diegelkiller and Francis, with some early drama going off with 2 DNFs and some crashes going on. So Floris, is he going to be able to hunt him down? That's the real key question here. Floris can get involved in this battle, and he's got himself set up nicely for straight line speed. I don't see why not. 8 tenths ahead. Diegelkiller isn't really pulling away. Francis is now left and disconnected, and I think he's just ran in. No! Oh, if Tim Palm's seeing what we're seeing, then he's going to be absolutely furious at the moment, because that is not ideal. Francis' internet connection, he's jipping all over the place at the moment and really putting Tim Palm off. He's dropped that 1 second, which has come in handy for Diegelkiller, but let's see what Tim Palm is able to do. But Francis' internet isn't good enough. Tim Palm has decided to come into the pits on lap 5 of 22, just under a quarter of the way there. Marquis coming to the pits as well, so too has Mark. Floris has stayed out. Cherry 2 Pie, everyone pretty much staying out. You've got Tim Palm, Mark and Marquis all coming into the pits. Let's see what tyres everyone goes on to. Apex is riding onto the back of Expert at the moment. 9 places gained by Onyx as he's battling just a little bit behind there with Casper heading up the hill. Here comes the Sauber and the Renault following each other 2 by 2. The cars will now there as well. He could get himself dragged into this battle if he doesn't pick up the pace. You can see the he thinks better of it and clips into his maximise the exit as you head down into turn 13, that difficult middle sort of style section where it's left, right, a slow Japan style middle sector, or Maggots and Beckett's, which is quick 90-degree corners that are long and winding and seem to go on forever. Potential overtaking opportunities. We'll look at the intervals here. Any close battles, Floris under the rear end of Francis potentially could be one to keep a close eye on. Are the leaders going to be coming into the pits? Epic Gamer will be the first of them if he decides to come in. We'll have a look see now as he comes through the final bus stop chicane. Let's see where he goes. He looks to be darting into the pits. He has done so. Will the Eagle Killer follow suit? No, he does not. The Eagle Killer decides to stay out at this stage, and fair play to him. He wants to stay out on track, and that's a risky manoeuvre, especially with the fact you've got guys doing undercuts. We'll have a look at what Tim Palm's doing further down. Cherry 2 players stayed out as well. He's on the he's on the super soft compound tyres as well, so he's decided to stay out a little bit later. Apex, Expert, Onyx and Casper are all battling nicely. We're quickly going to go on board with Tim Palm. Through the final corner he goes, and Epic Gamers come out clear ahead of him. Has Tim Palm been able to get a jump on anyone? Doesn't look like he's got a jump on Floris there. His teammate Mark has come out of the pits. Mark's got ahead of him. Let's see what tyres everybody is currently on. One stop for Mark, so Mark's done a great job to do what he's doing at the moment. He's got a big old jump on a lot of these guys, but Francis has easily done in Tim Palm, so it looks like the undercut doesn't actually work if they can't get them tyres heated up. So the Eagle Killer has done his research and could well be back into the lead of this Grand Prix, or incredibly close at that, with Epic Gamer. So we'll keep an eye on what them guys are doing. Expert, Apex, Onyx and Casper. Look at the tight battle between this lot going on as things currently stand. This ride on board probably with Onyx is the best view, as Expert's gone wide there. Let's see if Onyx can take advantage. He's going to try and go around the outside heading into this section. Can he try and get it done? No, Expert defends against him nicely there, but very tight between the two of them as things currently stand. You'll look behind there, Casper will be feeling keen and to get involved in this battle potentially. Epic Gamer has 6.8 seconds, so shouldn't get held up by the squabbling of these two as things currently stand. Apologies for the drop in the frames. We're going to try and get that sorted out very shortly for you. For some reason it's decided to drop all of a sudden, so I'm going to quickly restart the stream. That should sort it out.